everybody. It cracks me up. It really
That is
does.
so funny.
It cracks me up. Guys,
Man.
welcome to the Valleycast. My goodness.
Steve, I don't know if we've talked about this with you present, but Joe brought up something a couple weeks ago that was very interesting that I would like to do a follow-up on. And
Let's go.
It was about a DM that Joe received because the
right.
military, some folks in the military, enjoyed SourceFed so much that they, Steve, made a a military version of SourceFed.
A taxpayer-funded SourceFed.
Taxpayer-funded SourceFed.
Like what that would be like? Or
No, they made
what
it.
roles? Oh, they in the military.
They made it. Yeah.
So
They
it's
made SourceFed.
And is it just internal or something? It's just internal for military people?
There have been some leaks. I've come to Joe has. There's been some Beretta leaks. And,
Wait, you found it?
We can't show it, but
Why can't we show it?
Property of the U.S. government. This is how aliens get.
Oh,
hidden.
but we're not allowed to see it. Is it
I've
meant
seen
for the military? Is that what you're saying?
I think Joe can explain better than.
Joe, what the fuck?
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your
I'd have to bring up this DM. Do you want me to read? Basically, this young man reached out and he's like, "Hey, man," just was saying hello, and then he informed me that his friend was in the military and his friend was responsible for creating a daily news program, and they loved SourceFed, so they modeled it after SourceFed, and it got approved, and they got to make multiple episodes, and then at some point leadership changed, and then it got unapproved because the one guy didn't like it, but they made it.
And where was that one guy? What department was he in?
I don't remember.
I thought you said Pentagon. That there was someone at the
Something
Pentagon
like that. Yes, it went up. Anyways,
Wait.
up to the point where it was like not like, I'm sure it didn't matter. It was probably one of those, I don't know what that is, don't do it.
Whoa.
But yeah, and then we saw the episode, and the guy is very charismatic, and it's very SourceFedian, and he's in military fatigues.
But it's not meant to be seen by the public, or we can watch it right now.
I wouldn't watch it right now because I don't have the link.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's also what Joe has to say.
Dude, that's
It went
crazy.
all the way up. It went all the way up the chain of command, dude. It went all the way to. It went all the way to George H.W. Bush.
Dude, I just reconnected.
He's still in command.
He's still in command secretly.
Do you guys remember? So we were reminiscing about the SourceFed days while we play Fortnite with our friends, and a few of the people who play with us were a part of SourceFed, and so every once in a while it gets brought up and we talk about it, and things we can't talk about on the internet. But you guys remember a gentleman who worked with us named CJ?
Yeah, of course.
Sweetheart.
Elliot, you remember CJ? This CJ. Now look, CJ might have been after you left.
No, he remembers CJ.
You do remember CJ?
Sweetheart.
Okay.
He was there.
Okay.
CJ was pretty early on in the old SourceFed, in and out of interns and people that came and went very swiftly.
CJ is responsible for one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
You're talking about the crust. You're going to talk about the crust.
Yeah, the crust.
Yeah, you're going to talk about the crust.
And then he started playing Fortnite with us recently, and we got to talk to him, and he remembered the pizza crust and almost died laughing because I guess he had forgotten for a hot minute. And we'll remind you with the pizza crust thing. Elliot, do you remember the pizza crust thing?
No, I'm
Okay,
gonna need
good.
a crusty refresher, please.
Okay, and then
Make it crusty, please. Please make it crusty.
Make it crusty.
and
Keep it
then
crusty.
he was like, "Oh man, I'm surprised you guys remember the pizza crust thing and not the Starbucks thing." And Owen was with us, and Owen was like, oh my god, I totally remember the Starbucks thing. Okay, so CJ was a little younger than us, and he the boy loved a snack.
The Boy Who Loved a Snack is my favorite Harry Potter book.
There are those of us who love a snack, and then there are those of us who are against snacking completely, and just
There's no in between.
There's no in between. There's no gray area. It's very much either you love snacks or you don't.
and CJ was in the...
CJ loved it. CJ, I don't think I've known anyone to love snacks as much as CJ. Although I will say Mark Robb is a close second. Matt Robb's brother.
Interesting. Okay.
That boy loves snacks. He
just
taught
a snack monster. He's just a guy who puts a lot of snacks in his mouth and loves it.
Mark Robb taught me how to drink the cheesy Chex Mix so that you don't get your hands dirty.
Yeah, it's Cheetos too.
Yeah. He was like, dude, you just got to drink it. And the thing is it's, the weight ratio of a cheddar Cheez-It, it allows for drinking it.
Yeah.
Because just the weight of it. Because Cheetos are they're so awkward. Each
the
Cheeto
shape
is different
isn't right.
shape. Yeah. And it doesn't tumble as well as the cheesy Cheez-Its do.
You just might get a longie, but your
I
mouth
know, and then
open.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're all
or
over.
an uppie, and then you're like, you can't crunch down.
And
on
then
it.
you're beaver damming, and then you're beaver damming your mouth.
You're beaver damming.
And once you beaver dam, it's all
You're
over,
done.
man.
You're done.
drowning in Cheetos.
Yeah. And there's
Chopsticks.
a whole ecosystem in your body that will not be getting water that night. Those beavers. So anyway, okay, so the crust the crust story. First I'll tell you the crust story, and then I'll tell you guys the Starbucks story, which might rival the pizza crust story.
I love a crusty rival.
So, Elliot, one day I walk into the weird transition room at SourceFed where it was like everyone had to go through to get to the writer's room. And then they'd fill it with people in there who were doing important work and shouldn't be bothered, but there was no way to get to the other side of the building without going through that area and bothering those people who were working. And one day CJ was in there alone, and he had a giant Ziploc bag filled with pizza crusts. And next to that was an open container of cupcake frosting. Do you remember this now?
It's a vague memory, but I feel like there's something's and you saw this.
Yeah, and he was
arguably the worst person you would want to notice your bag of crust.
I know. Because for me, it's like you were never gonna let that. I was never gonna let that go.
You can't do that.
You can't.
And Steve, you are also, to your credit, a very curious person.
So curious.
And looking for knowledge in your own way. You were not going to walk away from CJ in that moment without asking at least 17 questions.
Dude, because, certain normal people would just walk right through and be like, that was interesting. Or not even think about it. Or didn't even know. Or maybe most people wouldn't even notice.
You were like a heat-seeking missile.
Dude, I'm telling you, the weirdest shit just finds me. And it might be because of how keen I am. But we'll see. Who knows? That's yet to be seen. We'll see what happens when I get my PhD.
That was all so close to a beautiful poem or haiku. I don't know what that was. That was rhyming.
We were just flowing. We were just flowing with the words, dude.
So, okay.
Maybe it's because of how keen I am, but we'll see
it is
what
how
it means
keen
when I am a PhD.
Little Michael Keaton over here.
Little Michael Keaton.
I am keen to be seen. But, so CJ was dipping the pizza crusts in the frosting, the cupcake frosting container, and eating that as a snack. And I asked him, why on earth would you be doing this? Why, sir? CJ, what are you doing? What is this? I asked him in disgusted shock. And he said to me, and I quote, the pizza crusts combined with the icing make the pizza crust taste like donuts.
Food hack.
And he said, and I was like, where did you were saving those crusts? He's like, yeah, last night I got a large pizza. I settled down with some One Tree Hill, and I ate my whole large pizza. And I put every crust in a Ziploc bag because I knew the next day I was going to come to work and dip those crusts into the icing and have donuts. And it just blew my mind, dude. Because look, man, I've certainly dipped a thing into a weird thing in my lifetime. Wendy's French fries into a Frosty.
Sure.
Some would say is
Classic.
not as strange, but unorthodox, certainly.
I do grilled cheese and ketchup. Some people find that pretty disgusting.
I love that. I love that. I love a grilled cheese dipped in ketchup. Not every time, but I like it. Joe, you like any weird dipperies?
I used to do like potato chips and ketchup, but now I
Yeah.
can't stand ketchup.
Really?
Interesting.
You lost the
Something
taste
happened.
for ketchup. What happened?
It's weirdly gross to me now. Like it's too sweet. It's like weirdly.
It is really sweet.
Can
You realize
you,
when you're a kid.
I'm not appreciating the science of it. these days.
Can you locate when that happened, do you think? Or it's not really a specific
I think I
incident?
tripped and fell into spicy food the last like 5 years. So
Spicy
I
food's
like,
good, yeah.
I like a good
Yeah.
spice.
And you're right,
Oh,
ketchup
wings.
is like it's like sweet for kids. So the kids will eat it, I guess.
Ketchup, sweet for kids.
the
Sweet
the
on
amount
your-
of forethought, being like, well, I know I'm gonna want these crusts. Like, is this a thing that he did regularly? So
Yes.
this was.
Yeah. So after that, yeah, we definitely asked every question that you should ask.
There is a forethought there for sure, but I also think it was survival. I don't think CJ was living in LA with a very high paying job at that
Certainly
time.
not.
At SourceFed.
Certainly
Well,
not.
no, he was at SourceFed, Joe.
And post discovery, which means
Yep.
even more. in the
Absolutely
bank.
nothing changed.
But CJ, so we were revisiting this story with CJ, and he was like, "Dude, it tastes like donuts. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the dough. Maybe it's the I don't know. I don't know.
In defense of CJ, though, I will say he's basically created a middleman in the journey for a dish that the place he ordered the pizza from probably already serves. Like a lot of those pizza places are like,
Yeah.
look, guys, we got stick dough. We threw
Yep.
some cinnamon on it, and you can dip it in this yum yum.
Yeah. And you dip it in the frosting. Yeah.
So they do it anyways, but for whatever reason, CJ, probably for money saving reasons, he's being very efficient with his cash. Just did it himself.
It's Dunkaroos for giants. Right. But now he proclaims that he's like a master snacker
I love that.
and knows quite a bit about combining unorthodox things into tasting like a different thing, into tasting like a thing you can get for less effort.
Ooh. What?
Snack master,
Like just
or
go get
taste
a donut.
alchemist.
Like donuts aren't that
Nice.
expensive.
He's a taste alchemist.
Yeah, he is a taste. He's a flavor alchemist. Yeah, taste and flavor alchemist. But anyway, so, dude, the Starbucks story is like equally entertaining as the
Wait,
Crust
okay.
one.
Now, if it's as entertaining as the Crust one, I'm trying to think if I have any recollection
Yeah,
of
do
this,
you
and I
remember
don't
this?
right now. So, Elliot, if you don't either, shall we make a prediction?
There you go. Make a prediction.
Shall we make
What do
a
you-
prediction?
What do you think CJ made with what could he possibly have done as a flavor alchemist
Flavor alchemist from Starbucks.
with Starbucks?
So we have liquid, but we also have some solids from this establishment.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna assume liquid, right? I've had.
Okay, I have a guess.
Okay.
I think CJ ordered like an extra hefty side of like cream for
That's
his
what I was
coffee.
gonna say.
Okay.
He wants
That's
cream,
a
but he wants it on
puppuccino.
the side.
He
Yeah,
wants
so-
more. He wants
So
more.
he's like, okay, just I need some cream.
What's
I
a
want cream.
puppuccino?
Puppuccino is just they give you a for your dog, and they give you
that's
just
right.
whipped cream.
That's right.
Oh, so I think
That's right.
it's not whipped cream.
I've
I
seen
think it's
that,
the
yeah.
actual cream that you put it into a coffee.
I see.
To, like,
I
thicken
see.
it. I
Oh,
think
you're
he-
saying he
I
takes
think
the
he ordered-
creamer.
I think he ordered the creamer on the side.
The creamer.
and then
okay.
got a crap ton of brown sugar and or sugar packets, put it in the cream, stirred it up, and called it a homeless milkshake.
Yeah. So
A
creative.
homeless milkshake. I like that.
very
It's very
creative.
creative. Right over the plate.
Maybe more creative than what it ended up being.
Damn it!
I was gonna say, he orders a puppuccino as a base of whipped cream, and then uses that as keeps it in the fridge because it's a sealed thing, and
Yeah.
uses it throughout to dip his pizza crust in.
Damn it, that's better.
I don't know. It's up to CJ.
Maybe he was experimenting with some new flavors, and he was like, maybe we'll see what happens. I'm gonna dip a hot dog into this Starbucks creamer.
So it's one of these two things, or he would just eat the cups.
Or he ate the whole. Yeah, he ate it. he got a brand new big frappuccino and just was eating it from the straw down.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so there was a point in time at SourceFed in the Discovery days when we would have these like meetings, like the Discovery people would come and it would be like an all hands meeting, and everyone in the building would
They would walk in and they'd sit in, and then just like robots, they'd go, "This is real. This is real. This is real."
Only 3 of you are benefiting from this. Can you guess which
This
3?
is real. This is real.
They are. But so everybody would sit in that big room and listen to Discovery tell us things. And there was one of those meetings, and it was specifically about like some kind of like healthier initiative where they gave us these like 53-cent little pedometers to put
I remember
on
the pedometers.
Remember the pedometer that said Discovery on it?
There was like a prize for the person that walked the most.
That had
in
the most
in a
steps.
quarter. Yeah, and I think it was Will because he walked everywhere.
Exactly. Drew says he put it in a bundle of socks and put it in the dryer. Genius. Anyway, so we're all sitting there and we're hearing about how, like, hey, more or less this job's pretty sedentary, and a lot of people just sit at their desks all day. And so, Discovery's trying to, initiate, start an initiative to get everybody at the company to get more fit, like it's like a corporate way of being like, let's be healthier. And so they gave everybody these little pedometer things, and they were like, let's just be healthier. And whoever is the healthiest gets like a gift card to Target or something. It was like a $50 Target gift card if you were the one that walked the most. So it was like literally not worth it for anyone. So we're talking about all this health shit, and in comes CJ late to the meeting with the biggest Starbucks like candy drink you've ever seen, and it had a Snickers bar sticking out of the top of it.
Oh fuck! This is the best Will Ferrell movie ever.
And CJ just comes like kind of just like zipping it.
The only way it makes it better is if like he's coming in on one of those electric wheelchairs.
Hold on, you're gonna crush Audrey. Beep beep beep.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, he's sipping it while he's like. Yeah, a fucking Snickers bar inside of a giant liquid Snickers bar.
He's living his best life, man. He's doing great.
He said, "Yeah, I was depressed." Like, no shit.
Oh
No
boy.
shit. Anyway, I thought that was so funny to speak
That
of
is
SourceFed,
very funny.
the military.
Very
version.
funny.
Well, one last point on SourceFed before we move on. The military thing it was just fascinating. Once I find the text, I'll send it to you, Steve.
Please.
But
It's really great.
I also, it's weird that it came up today. I had a SourceFed nostalgic moment last night. I sat down, was like, I need to watch something. I'm gonna fall asleep. What do I want to watch falling asleep? So like, there was this Attack of the Show documentary that just came.
Attack the Doc or Attack of the Doc or something.
Attack of the Doc.
Yeah, I haven't
It's
watched
not-
it yet.
It's not great. Like Chris Gore just kind of like did it by himself.
Oh, it's one of
but
those Chris Gore ones. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I've seen those.
It's fine. But it kind of just goes and talks about like this is what it was, this was the journey, and it was this magical time with no rules, blah 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 blah. You wish you looked back, you wish you knew it when looking back how good it was, blah blah blah.
It felt like SourceFed. It felt like
Very
they were
much.
talking about SourceFed.
Very much felt like they were talking about SourceFed. And then it was interesting to remember like the dual tracks we were kind of running. But I think there's this world where SourceFed kind of filled a little niche for some Attack of the Showers, though, because when SourceFed was taking off, Attack of the Show in that version and in what it was kind of like
plummeting,
winding down because Olivia left and Kevin left at that time.
And G4 was just like whatever what was that show called? Most Extreme.
It got sold, and they replaced it with the Esquire network, if you remember that.
Right.
And then that got shut down relatively quickly.
This is a children's drink.
Anyways, but yeah, it was like, oh yeah, there was this like no rules aspect of like creativity and then just sandbox playtime at Attack of the Show, but also SourceFed.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's I think the compensation, the real compensation was literally the friends.
The friendships, it was. I still have amazing friendships from that place. Like Will Haynes and I became friends because of SourceFed. All of us met because of SourceFed. Like we would not have met each other. But Will hit me up and the other day and was like, I think we met. Shit, hang on, let me see. He said we met like 8 years ago today or something. And that was like, that blew my mind. We met 10 years ago this year, he said on Wednesday. And I was like, that's crazy. I wonder what month that was. And he was like, it was Norg's barbecue. Do you guys remember that barbecue?
Oh, yeah. The backyard football barbecue.
Backyard football barbecue. Where I met Will for the first time. And Will will never let me live down or forget the first thing I asked him.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Were you like, have you seen CJ's Crusts?
Yeah. Or no, was it something that was it? What did you say?
You said.
Well, I knew. Something. Well, I'd seen Will around the office. Like he had started working there, and I think he was like working with the For Human People's team for like a little bit, and then he popped out of there and was like kind of. Yeah, he was like interning.
Slapped with a memory that.
Do you remember
For Human People's? No, I just remember
for
the
human
phrase
peoples.
For human people.
Yeah, exactly. Haven't thought of those words in a while.
No.
You got to remember that when we started, For Human Peoples took up like 90% of the actual space in the office.
And the business. But anyway, like so I'd seen him around the office and I'd met him, I guess, but I'd never talked to him. So we were like standing in like a little circle, and Will comes over. And we're all talking, and Will's just kind of listening and being quiet, and there was a lull in the in the conversation, and I guess I just turned to him in the silence and asked, "Do black people read Mad Magazine?"
Yeah.
and he was like,
yeah, I would have bet a lot of money. I mean, Joe, would you have bet a lot of money that it was going to have the word black in it?
Yeah. Yep.
But he loves it. He loves it to this day and says, I think that's when I knew that we were going to be friends when you asked me that.
The only thing that I think would have made it better is if Will was a white person and you asked a white person if black.
Hey, do you think black people read Mad Magazine?
Hey, Silent Kid, do black people read?
Steven Supdick, the whitest guy I know.
What do you think the percentage of white people reading Mad Magazine to like other ethnicities is? But yeah, but fucking 10 years, dude. Like 10 years ago, that must have been like right when we were starting, right? Like around that time. Like, well, he was saying that was summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember last year we had this conversation of like, you guys know it's been 10 years since SourceFed, which was 2012. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, man. It's so strange to think about.
13, 14, 15, 2012. Yeah, 2012, right?
Yeah, beginning of 2012.
Yeah.
January 6th or something like that.
Yep. It was
I
like
remember,
right on the dot.
Like the months leading to 2012, like still like going over to that office and like negotiating and meeting everybody and the feverish tests to make the show what it was. Like just trying every day to like make it work or whatever. in the editing room or in that white
Oh,
wall
just
room.
figuring out a process.
Right, like
It
how
was
does it
figuring out a
work?
process in the real time.
Yep.
For sure.
All leading up to the 2012 launch. But anyway, but yeah, man, it blew my mind to think about like how I met Will. And then I think after that barbecue, I was like, Will's cool, man, because we like hung out the whole rest of that barbecue and we were like joking around and laughing and shit. And then one day, like a few weeks after that, I was just walking around the mall and I was in like the H&M and I saw Will like just kind of wandering around alone in there, and I was also alone. And I went over to him and I was like, Will? And he's like, Steve? And then we like hung out at the mall like for a bunch of hours. And then it was like that's when I knew that we were gonna be like close friends. Like we really like connected in that like moment at the mall, and then that's when the friendship kind of like took off from there. But
Aw.
isn't that crazy? That was 10 years ago.
It's
Just-
crazy that you can just make up that bullshit story. and
I
expect
know,
everybody to believe, like,
because the
and
real story is
capitalize.
awful.
Yeah, the whole I was there for the real story, and it was equally disgusting.
You
as
should have
the
heard the
thing you
first
said,
27 questions I
It was
asked him.
awful.
Yeah, you cut that out.
It was so bad. Anyway, so Zelda, huh?
Hey guys, you know who's a really important member of our team?
Huh?
It's Kevin.
Yeah.
He works tirelessly behind the scenes. He squeezes us in when he can. He makes sure that you guys get the hottest, freshest podcast in the world. You know, it's important that every person, moment, and penny counts in your business. You can't afford to take any of them for granted, even Kevin, and especially Kevin Plachy. Stamps.com gets it, because for the last 25 years, they've been helping businesses like yours and ours save time and money, so you can focus on your business, knowing Stamps.com has all your postage needs covered with premium discounts and great rates. That's right, it makes life better for you and your business. You wouldn't believe it. It's like having a post office, but like in your office. With Stamps.com,
believe
you wouldn't believe it.
I don't believe
You wouldn't believe it.
I barely
With
believe it.
Stamps.com, all you need is a computer and a printer. They even send you a free scale, so you'll have everything you need to get started. Isn't that convenient? Because how often do you want to print something and you don't know how much it weighs, so therefore you don't know how much it costs? Well, guess what?
Name
Stamps.com.
one other business that will send you a free scale. Name one.
Name one. In fact, if you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule it through your Stamps.com dashboard too. And if you sell products online, as we are wont to do, Stamps.com seamlessly connects with every major marketplace and shopping cart. That one didn't go out as smoothly as I wanted it to. Can you believe it? Premium discounts as well. Running a business isn't cheap, especially when it comes to fulfilling orders for your customers. Luckily, Stamps.com has huge carrier discounts and up to 84% off USPS and UPS rates. Can you imagine? Name one other place that you can get 84% off. Name one.
I couldn't.
You wouldn't believe it. Plus, Stamps.com automatically tells you your cheapest and fastest shipping options. For 25 years, Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. Can you imagine that many businesses? Name
can't.
one other business. Get access to the USPS and UPS services you need right from your computer anytime, day or night. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Set your business up for success when you get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code ValleyCast for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code ValleyCast. Get a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale at www.stamps.com/ValleyCast. Thank you to Stamps.com for sponsoring this episode of the ValleyCast, and we'll see you next time. Steve?
Just try and name a million other podcasts.
Try and name a podcast. Think of a podcast.
Dare you.
Try to name a million other businesses. Guys, you know, Elliot, I was thinking while you were saying that, I was
Yeah?
thinking
What were you
about
thinking?
how we all have interesting parts about ourselves that not everyone gets to see.
Correct.
Didn't you know that? Kind of like what you keep in your underwear drawer. You keep anything other than underwear in there?
Yes.
That's where my bullets are. Guys, did you know that MeUndies?
What?
What?
Don't own a
What?
gun. Love
It's-
bullets.
I don't
Love
have a
having
gun.
bullets.
I don't have a gun, but I do have bullets just in case. Guys,
Throw him at him.
MeUndies is a celebration of what makes you who you are underneath it all. Ain't that right? And they know comfort better than anyone. And I can say this from experience. I'm wearing them right now and nothing else.
Me too.
From undies and socks to bold apparel like onesies and dog hoodies. How about that? How cute would your pupper look in some of these styles? There we go.
It's a good butt, Joe. Christmas.
That's lewd. We got some here. You're wearing the I got boxer briefs. That doesn't look like boxer briefs.
It's like the in-betweenies.
The
Yeah, the
in-betweenies. I haven't tried those. Some of my favorite patterns right now. I'm wearing donuts. I got donuts on my undies.
I always go basic myself. Basic.
I love the weird
Wait,
ones.
do your undies are they actually pizza crusts dipped in,
in icing.
frosting?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, MeUndies has transformed the underwear game, and now they're entering the swimwear era.
What the fuck?
That's right, ultra chlorine resistant, UPF 50 plus for extra sun protection, and sustainably sourced and imported under fair working conditions. Great job, MeUndies.
Elliot laughs, but I'm like legitimately blown away. Kind of want them. Real
I
bad.
know, I want them.
Yeah.
And look, guys, you can get
That was
more
a
than just
sincere WTF.
You can get more than just junk in your mailbox with a MeUndies membership. You choose a new pair of undies, socks, or a bralette each month to grow your collection. You'll also save up to 30% on all the MeUndies snuggly softness you can handle. Plus, you get early access to special deals and new products. So, to get 25% off your first order plus free shipping, visit MeUndies.com/Valley. And remember, if you're not satisfied with your purchase, it's on MeUndies, okay? That's 25% off your first order at MeUndies.com/Valley.
I love me undies. Also sincere.
Me too, man.
Me too. Yeah.
I
Sincerely.
never want it to end.
Sincerely, Steve.
Steve's
We
wrong
did
about
it.
what he's about to say about AI. Steve's wrong about what he's about to say about AI. Steve is wrong about what he's about to say.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
We're all
AI
gonna
is
attack. We're gonna
kill
attack.
us.
We're gonna attack. /Valley.
Fine, AI is gonna kill us and we're all gonna die. Is that what you want? You guys talk already a bunch about it?
Yeah, Joe, are you in it? Yeah, I mean, you didn't like it.
Well,
You
no,
haven't liked it.
no. It's not that I didn't like it. It's that I didn't have the mental capacity to jump in and totally enjoy it and be able to. It's a daunting task.
Yeah.
Very daunting.
But then I had a 3-day weekend, and I'm in.
Dude, I'm
Guys.
dangerously
Right?
close to not like, you know, this happens where like a brand new game comes out. Like this happened to me with Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring came out and I had never played any of the FromSoft games or you know, Dark Souls, any of that shit. And I jumped in and I was like, oh shit, this is really difficult and fucking badass and cool. And I fell in love with that game. But then I stopped, like, you know, other things get in the way of it.
Life. Yeah.
Life and even things that, like, you know, could have been time to play Elden Ring, but you chose to do like a different thing instead.
Mhm.
Even though you really want to play it, I'm starting to get close to that with Zelda because I just can't. I know that the second I pick up that controller, like hours are going to just breeze the fuck by.
They do.
And I'm conscious of that. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to lose so much time. Like, I really need to have the perfect amount of time to play this game. And so I keep putting it off. But man, do I fucking love it, man. I think I've put about like maybe 6 hours into the game.
Yeah, you might want to get COVID. If you get COVID and you're stuck in
Dude.
your place for a week, then you'll just Zelda
I
it
know.
up.
I know.
Yeah.
The 3-day weekend is good. Like, you know, I think a lot of people are going to catch up on Zelda this weekend.
But now I'm in Elliot. Like I have defeated
Good.
a
glad
sky
to hear that.
demon. Like I've went in.
Whoa,
I've
how
went
many
in-
hours have you put in?
I just played a lot yesterday, but I've
Damn,
beat
I
like
haven't-
one of the like the regional bosses already.
Yep.
And
Damn, I haven't even touched that.
I've done 4 of them.
I will say it's enjoyable. I love it. It's just like the last one. You
It's
can get
Breath
lost
of the
in it.
Wild. Yeah, it's just Breath of the Wild again.
Even with the 3-day weekend, the guilt still sits. I'm like,
I
God,
know,
I could have done.
know.
I could have done so
It
many
does
other
suck
things.
your time like crazy.
Oh God, I could have done taxes for next year. Is where
Does
my
that-
adult brain is.
Does
right?
that mean we're like too old for it now, or does
No.
that mean that we're just like we're starting to prioritize differently?
Here's the thing: our minds are fucked because of our little like devices that we hold all the time.
I know.
I would have probably wasted just as much time, in
exactly.
increments, on this dumb thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Like-
saying. Like that's what happened to me with Elden Ring. It was like I really wanted to play Elden Ring, but my phone is right here with all this cool shit in it also.
which is
And
just as big of a waste of time.
it's such, dude, totally. That's
A
what I'm
bigger
saying.
waste of
Like
time.
it's so weird how it's like I could have the time. I do have the time, and I'm like really at a point in my life, like existentially, if we want to get a little existential real quick, where I'm like, let's just do as much fun. Like obviously the hard stuff and the stuff that sucks is there, and got to do what you got to do to survive. But like fun, like having fun and making the most out of like these days of our lives, like is kind of like a top priority for me. And it's like I'd love to just like sit and play Zelda all day, and I think I can, and I've earned that, I think, in a lot of ways. And so the guilt part is like weighing while I suffer through like, can I just waste 6 hours on this game right now? It's all I want. It's all I want, but it feels so guilty. It feels so guilty.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
But
Elliot,
we gotta,
as somebody
we gotta
that has
fight through the guilt.
Elliot, as somebody that has put in 23 hours at least so far, how do you feel?
Great. I love it, every moment of it. But I use my wife to gauge whether or not I need to stop effing playing for a little while.
I know.
And I can hear in the tone of the voice.
Yeah,
like,
you still playing?
And like before, still playing? Are you doing that? Are you playing your video games?
Oh, you're still doing your video game?
And then yeah, and then she'll like I was walking out of the house earlier to come do this podcast, and I had a few minutes. And she saw me carrying the Switch in my hand, and I did try to like mildly hide it. But she's a speaking of keen, she's a very keen person, and she was like, "You gonna play your video game before your podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I already did my lecture. I listened to most of my lecture, so I can."
And I did the chores. I did my
Yeah.
dishes.
I did the
I
dishes.
I hadn't listened to most of the lecture. I listened to part of the lecture, and I was like, "Why did I lie a little bit?" Like I did lie. I was like, "Oh, I did most of the lecture," and she was like, "Good for you." She's like, "Have fun," and I was like, "Oh, I probably didn't need to." I don't know why
Dude,
I'm lying to you.
You know what's funny is like I get that feeling like obviously it's like it's there's a balance, right?
That's
like
so
when
funny.
you have a bunch of responsibilities, like there is a balance that's appropriate and healthy and all those things. But like it always bums me out like in superhero movies when like the superhero is like in a long-term relationship, and all they want to do is like go be a superhero and go like have like do superhero shit, but the person that is like close to them that isn't a superhero is like, you have to be a person and stop being a superhero all the time. And it's like those lessons keep happening over and over again in movies where it's like, you can't just go be a superhero all day. You have to you have responsibilities. It always bums me out because it's like, fuck you. Why can't you be a superhero all day? Why can't you play Zelda all fucking day?
Guilt, shame.
The game is
The
so
government.
freaking immersive that I know that I've been playing something a little bit too much, or I've been immersed in it too much based on like if I have a moment in real life. Like for example, when I'll play RPGs that are very important with your save point, like I'll at some point during the day I'll go, God, can I go back to my save point? Like in my life, I'm like, fuck, I've been playing
I'll see
too
a
much.
stick. I'll be like, I could weld I could fuse that shit.
That's what happened to me today in this specific Zelda. There is there's a pine cone mechanic that is very important, like annoyingly important at times.
No spoilers.
And, I was walking to go feed my neighbors, our friends' cats. They're out of town. They're like, will you feed our cats? I was like, great. So I got up early and I went a little walk by myself this morning. And as I was walking down the sidewalk, I see a pine cone. A pine cone. It's like a perfect, like this is like in a children's book pine cone. And I saw it and I immediately thought, I gotta
get that. I gotta collect that.
I gotta pick that up so I can throw it in a fire so I can go high. I need to go high. I need the wind from the fire to make me go up. I had that thought.
You don't have Rivali's Gale anymore.
Yeah. Did not have my satchel with me though.
But it's very like,
I know. Yeah, that sucks.
it is a little
It happens.
rare that these games come around. Like it's not like every year there's a game like this where you're like spending every minute of your day on it or whatever. Like it's kind of rare, right? Like especially Zelda games.
Yeah, so like intimately connected to your nostalgia bone
Exactly.
as well.
I think we can't help it.
On
you
the
know?
way back from Santa Barbara, I was driving and I looked to the left on the highway, and there was a bunch of large boards and pieces of wood. And I had the same thought that you did, Joe, where I was like, and I turned to Grace and I said, "Babe, you see that shit right there? If this was Zelda, I could put it all together and
Make a wagon.
make a little wagon." I was like, I could do this, and she was like, "That's great, baby." And I was like, "Don't do that.
Don't placate me.
Don't
do
like that's Let me tell you about my video game and take it seriously."
See, but now only certain games can do this like real life change to you. Because imagine if like you were totally immersed in like in Mario, and then you went to a pet shop and punched a fucking turtle.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I was playing Mario. I'm so sorry.
I gotta be quiet coming in. There's an animal. I'm gonna go tippy toes. So don't scare it.
Crouch down.
I'm gonna be real quiet. Dude, but it is such a beautiful game, and man, they really knocked it out of the park. Like, even if it is like kind of a reskinned Breath of the Wild with some new gameplay features that kind of change everything. I'm in. I love it. I can't, dude. I just got to Hyrule. Like, I was in the sky for like a long time.
Yeah, that's not a great opening.
It's not.
There's a hump that you got to get over in that little tutorial.
It's just the
area.
tutorial. It's the tutorial zone.
My friend John was saying, you guys know they added a mechanic in this game where you can go up through the ceiling. I forget what it's called.
Dude, I love it so much.
It was
so
like
it's a game changer.
but it wasn't like originally in the game. Apparently, like the developers made it so that like while they were developing the game and like changing things and like
they could get
they
around.
used it for themselves so they could get around, and they were like, you know what? Let's just put it in the game.
Dude,
and then they put it in the
love
fucking game.
I'm glad they did that, because even though there is like a more tedious way to like get up to high places, like using the like stick together function or whatever, it's better that they have a quick one too.
Yeah,
because I know people don't have patience for this game. Like, it really requires patience, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Much grinding.
I had to get over the
much,
patience hump to even, like I said, Elliot, when we were talking.
You can't rush through this game.
It's just daunting. Like,
it is.
You have to get over this. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a moment when it clicks, or at least it did for me, where I was like, okay. I was like, this is all the hype and all the waiting and all the excitement. I was like, this is worth it. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
I know.
It's like, I can't describe it, but I go, oop, it like settles in. You go, all right, I guess I'm going to go explore this giant world.
Yeah, I think it happens when you're done with the tutorial, right? Like, you get to the Hyrule Plains or whatever, and you're like, dude, this is the biggest. It's like such an open world game. You can like take your time in every aspect, and like you almost want to. You want to. Like, for me, I want to. I want to like I did explore the city. Where's the city with like the big hot air balloon? Is that just what camp is that? Like the one
I don't remember names.
It's the one, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like the first like
one.
town you get to.
Lookout Landing.
There it is.
With the hot guys.
I know.
The professor does not need to be that hot.
Dude,
what's going on?
And here's
what's
the
going
thing.
on?
When I saw the
that
professor,
with she's doing that little whippy thing.
Dude, but all the Zelda games are horny. You know this.
Horny.
Not as horny as that dog. That professor is the horniest that's ever been.
But have you gotten to any fountain fairies yet?
Not yet. Well, no, I can't.
Are there?
Yeah, there are. And it's a different thing though than it is in Breath of the Wild. But it's one thing for Zelda to be a horny game. That is a different thing to be horny as a result of Zelda. And that girl, that woman,
that professor,
dude, the fairies didn't make you horny in Breath of the Wild.
Not really, but I appreciated the horniness. Yeah,
they're definitely scary, but you get to a point where you're
not
like
to the level of
not of this professor, not Professor Hot and stuff.
Okay, well, for me with Breath of the Wild, it was like you got to so many of the fairy fountains. It felt like this was your girlfriend you were visiting, like, to say hi to, you know, because I'm like so in the game and I'm Link while I'm playing, and like they come out and they're just having orgasms and they're horny as fuck the second they come out, and I'm just like, as Link, you're like, fuck it, let's just have some fun. Let's have some fun with this giant horny fairy, you know, because why not? They're like implying that they're all horny. And then you meet the people in town. Remember when Link dresses up like a lady?
Gerudo.
in Gerudo, yeah, in the sand area or whatever. Like, and everyone's like, oh, everyone's horny as fuck for Link when that happens.
Yeah.
And then,
He looks hot. He looks really good in that outfit.
yeah, there's like some horniness all across the
But
Zelda
I
games.
think they straight up created this character
To
they
be
were
like,
they no, I think they were like, we want this character to be the most cosplayed character at the next con, and I guarantee it will be.
Oh, for sure. Dude, my first thought when I saw that woman in the new game was, I'm going to see so much Rule 34 dirty stuff with this character. Like, people have already, like, I bet, in fact, here, I'm going to do it right now. What's her name? Let's see.
I'm telling you, no
Purra.
names. No
Purra.
names are sticking.
Purra, yeah.
Do you remember in Breath of the Wild the really creepy, because of mistranslation, there was a side quest that was really, really pedophilic and gross?
No, which one?
It's called Message in a Bottle from Breath of the Wild, and it's about a little girl who is from Zora, near the Zora village, who's communicating with a lover of hers. And she's sending messages down the bottle, and Link's job is to follow the bottle to escort
find
the
the
ball all
lover.
the way to find the lover, and it turns out it's a grown man.
So it's like
And-
catfishing.
Yeah, but then they get like married, and there or some. I don't know how. I don't think I actually finished that because I got caught. But I read about it, and it's all because in the translation from the I guess Japanese version to the American version, they mess up some of the translations, and one of the things that they mess up is they make this a more like erotic
No
thing
way.
than it was in the
Dude,
original.
there's
Yeah,
just
pretty wild.
horniness in these Zelda games, man. It's
Just
there.
in the American translations.
Yep, just
Maybe,
American.
huh?
Just
Guys,
one
look at
guy.
this.
It's just been, it's been a while. I got some things on my mind.
Look what I found just by typing in her name and Rule 34.
Oh boy,
Pages
All right,
and
well, let's
pages.
take that off.
Pages and pages.
Kevin,
Not even
Kevin,
Kevin.
Mark, whatever time code this is.
Oh, also we blew past the ads, so we should probably do that afterward.
Oh, we'll just stick them
Okay.
in somewhere. Yeah.
But
But she doesn't. She looks. See, that ruins it because she
It
looks
does ruin
hotter
it. It does
when
ruin it.
she's she's hotter when she's not.
Yeah. It's hotter because it's implied.
It ruins the whole aesthetic. Yeah,
There's
the
an
whole-
implication that
It's because of the implication.
if there was no Zelda, Link and Purra would be like getting it on.
Have we ever seen Link and Zelda kiss? Are we just assuming they're into each other?
We've seen them kiss.
Have we?
I think it's him and Mifa. I thought him and Mifa were the ones
Let's
that
see.
were really in love. Like Mifa, if you read her diary, is very. And I'm now discovering that I may know too much. I may
Look,
be.
you mean the little girl that hangs out with Purra?
Yeah, that's another one where it's a little weird, but I think Mifa was like in love with Link or something. No, not the little girl. Mifa is the Zora girl. There's a statue of her.
Yeah, I don't know. I when I was watching this video, it's like I think we're always assuming that they're together, but maybe he's just like a right-hand man.
What game does Zelda kiss Link? The Adventure of Link, which is Zelda 2, Hero and Heroine. At the end of the game, Link saves Zelda, the curtain falls, and they move toward each other and embrace. A kiss is almost definitely implied.
Still no kiss.
Yeah. Does Zelda have romantic feelings for Link? Is a question on Google. Zelda has feelings for Link, and their relationship is rooted deeply in childhood. Forget that the Minish Cap was once the series' origin point. Its most interesting feature is developing a romance between Link and Zelda long before Skyward Sword.
I just forget. I don't know.
I
just
don't
say
know,
that.
but also my understanding is that Link and Zelda are both repeatedly reincarnated, and so while they are Link and Zelda, there might be versions that are in love and versions that are not. But they're more platonic.
Parallel universe versions of them.
Who knows though? I don't know. I'm sure other people know, and I don't know. I just don't know. It's just a fun game. I just like playing it.
There's a big old open world, and there's a lot of fish in that sea.
Yeah, there's
I'm
definitely
gonna put this
more
fan,
there.
and I'm gonna put this rocket on the fan.
But
and
it
I'm gonna
almost-
hit this.
Oh, I know, right? You're doing the you're not. The story is like secondary.
Note for future iterations of game, it would be pretty fun to have like a Mass Effect like depending on how you court certain characters in the game, that's who you could like quote unquote end up with. Like it could be a Goron, it could be a
I'd
Zora.
see it heading
could be-
that way, yeah, because it is already kind of like, choose your own adventure style in a way.
Be very cool.
I've hit the part in the game where I had to leave because I can't beat it. I'm not a good enough gamer.
Dude,
to
I'm
beat the
worried about
particular
when that
part.
happens. Yeah.
It's post the four people that you have to help.
You've played
Do
a
you-
lot.
Yeah,
do
well,
you use-
actually those are really quick to get through. Once you get to the other ones, you start realizing pretty quickly that they're actually a little easier than you might expect.
Do you
I won't spoil anything after that.
do you use the motion controls?
No, I don't think you do use them as much. I mean, you kind of
Like with the arrows and stuff? Like
a little
when you
kinda
shoot
both.
arrows and when you use I don't like it.
I like it more
don't
than Breath
use
of
it.
the Wild when you would have the one where it's like you have to fully
I know,
like,
I know.
twist.
I hope they don't do more of that in this one.
Did you guys watch Succession? You guys don't watch
No,
Succession?
I
gotta
think I'm
catch
done
up.
with that show.
Oh, really?
Just ended.
Well, I
Everyone's
watched all of it until this new season. I haven't watched any of this final season.
Oh, you got to just finish it off. You've put
I
so
know,
much time
but
into it.
my thing is like what keeps happening in that show is like these deplorable people keep like freaking out about losing everything they have, even though no matter what they lose, they'll still be like super rich and fine. Like there's no consequence. Like I feel like there's no consequences, like true consequences.
But I think you're describing the whole point of the show.
But
It's to
like I
show that
got
these
sick of
people are-
that. I got kind of sick of that because I was like, if there's no stakes and there's no consequences, then what's the point of even watching this show?
I guess
well-
it's all about the Schadenfreude.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
just
the
watching
Schadenfreude.
people. It's literally the which is what happened with Game of Thrones eventually, which is the like soap opera. It's like about the soap opera and not anything else.
What's coming up for me now, Steve, is a memory from the Star Wars prequels, or maybe it was the sequels, in which Luke Skywalker says, "Amazing! Every word of what you just said is wrong."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you feel like you love
Every word.
Succession. You love
I
it.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
But you don't agree with that, huh? You don't agree that there's no stakes for any of these
It's like
people?
I agree with it, but that's what I think is. I think it's good for people to see how manipulated the masses are by such a small group of people.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate though. You do end up liking many of them, but
That's what I'm saying. Like it kind of like did what Breaking Bad did in a way, which was like you fall in love with the anti-hero and then you like start to love all the like real fucked up shit they do. And then you're like, why you don't critically think beyond that. You just like enjoy watching horrible people do horrible things. And it's like, what
you should
happened?
finish it.
Really?
I think it gets
There's
pretty-
probably
I
a
think you'll like
good
it.
emotional payoff, I'm guessing.
I'm just so
There's a couple,
bored
yeah.
with rich people not getting like.
We'll get
true
used to it because it's never going to
consequences.
change and it's the life
I
that
know.
you live.
It's like I don't want to watch that if we're already like suffering it. You know.
I love it, and I think they worked hard for their money.
There's zero nepotism. There's zero. It's all earned money.
Are you guys of the mindset that AI is gonna?
Yeah. I am.
Okay.
Because the AI stuff that like regular people have access to is already like incredible. So I can't even imagine what money has access to. That's the scary shit.
Steve is one of those barometers for me that I point to when I go, this is where it's going, because Steve, like many of my other Steve-esque friends, if we had a conversation about AI 6 months ago, was like, it's fine, it's cool, it's a tool, it's not that big of a deal, art. But
Yeah.
and now everybody that was like that and was kind of like, it's kind of a cool, fascinating thing.
Well,
is like, we're fucked.
I still feel
Same
that
with
way.
Peter
I still-
Rollins, the philosopher, was like 6 months ago. Was like, "Hey, it's nothing to worry about. It's just a da-da-da-da-da," and now he's like, "Oh, it's gonna kill us."
Well, I'm not saying it's gonna kill us, but I'm saying that
In the hands of the wrong
we'll
people.
still
it'll be manipulated.
adapt. We'll still adapt as a species because we've adapted through worse shit for sure.
But it's the 1% that'll be able to adapt real well.
Yeah, I mean, like well, certainly, yeah. I mean, always, right? But I think that obviously it's there will be a huge wave of like it'll shake up the creative world, it'll shake up the art world, but I don't see it. I see it being like terrifying and like whoa, but I'm not worried about us not surviving it.
Oh, it doesn't have to be an end of the world type thing, but it is going
No.
to change everything. But and
for
we
sure.
are.
But I think it'll change everything the way the internet changed everything, which was like huge and it happened really fast. But like people learn to utilize it in a way to like survive, like we just kind of wrap ourselves around it and symbiotically manipulate it.
I'm asking it now if it can give me some quotes from Steve Zaragoza. I'm curious if it's.
Yeah, what are those famous Steve quotes?
I'd love that. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Do
I
black
love
people
when it
read
does this.
Mad Magazine?
It only goes to 5 quotes. So I'm pretty sure that would be number 6. So this is some popular quotes. I can offer you some popular quotes from Steve Zaragoza.
Is this Chat GPT?
It is a comedian, actor, and internet personality known for his work on platforms like YouTube. Here are a few
good job.
general quotes. Here's some general quotes that are attributed to him. Life is too short to take yourself too seriously.
Wow, that's fucking brilliant.
I love. It did the same thing
Damn,
with me,
that's
where it's like the life, meaning is the little things, not the big things, or whatever.
Don't sweat the small things.
Oh, here's a good one. Laughter is the best medicine, especially
that's
when life
good.
gets tough.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's really good.
That's a famous Steve Zaragoza quote if ever I heard
Is
one.
that something that I said that it's just pulling from a video or something?
Yeah, I don't know why it does. It's like these generic quotes that just
probably-
goes, yeah.
Because people really
Please note these quotes may not be directly from Steve Zaragoza, but rather reflective of his general philosophy or sentiment.
Totally. That's I'm so philosophical about shit like that right now.
Remember, every failure is just a stepping stone to success. Steve Zaragoza.
I think we'll be dead by the time it would seriously affect our jobs.
No, I don't think so at all. I think you're dead wrong. It's going to go for the creatives first. That's where we were all wrong.
I think that's true for sure.
It's already happening with voice actors, and it's going to happen with writers.
Totally, but I think it's not perfect yet. Still,
I think there you still need human connection, and you still
Yeah.
need like human facade. I don't think a lot of people
Yeah.
are going to want to watch
Yeah.
like AI creators.
that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a
But-
big movement of human like.
But that's personality stuff, Steve. We're
Yeah.
like that's the reason the strikes are happening right now. Like eventually, AI will replace too many writers, and it will replace too many
Yeah.
like foundational creatives, and that's it's going to start
man.
taking jobs in that realm, not just create in the creative world, but every world a little bit. And then
you
that's
want to-
that's the thank you. That's the difference between I think the internet upheaval and this upheaval is that the internet I think helped create jobs.
Yeah.
This is going to potentially, unless there becomes some kind of like limitation on a governmental level, societal level, it's going to eradicate jobs.
Well,
And
I was
that is
telling-
no bueno.
I mean, again, like we've seen technology eradicate jobs before. Like it's not new. Like we've seen the advancement of robotics completely obliterate jobs. We've seen the advancement of the internet obliterate jobs. This isn't the first time we've seen a thing that could potentially change the landscape of the workforce. So that's not like it's not as scary and catastrophizing or what's the version of that word I'm looking for? But what I'm trying to say is that I think that like
Like a helicopter.
what I was telling
AI, source fed, Zelda. That's what we talk about.
what I was telling my friends
The Trinity, the holy Trinity of Valleycast topics.
like I saw a video that was edited by AI recently that a friend of mine had access to that just like read through like a giant video file and cut like a social media clip out of that, and it was like really good. And I'm like, wow, man, like really soon, like Twitch streamers and like YouTubers are going to just like use AI to edit all their videos. And there goes all those editors that make way under what they're worth to edit. And so we were talking about that. And I was saying, I think that we're on such the cusp of like studio and, consumer AI usage that you could probably, if your job is like at stake because of AI, you could dive into AI, learn everything there is to learn about your specific aspect of why AI is ruining your art or whatever, learn everything about it, how to use it, how to get really good at it, and then go to like studios or companies and say, I'm your AI guy. I will run your AI and make your AI do everything you want for you.
But if you do that, you better dress like a fucking robot.
I'm AI. But
I
that's
am
what I'm
your
saying.
AI guy.
Like, I'm not saying this is a solution. I'm saying that this is an option, right?
No, I see what you're saying. Look,
Like,
I think
like
you're operating.
right. Like you look at AI, zoom out of AI for a second, and say, what can I do to join in on the AI movement right now at the cusp of it, and convince some company to hire
Turn
me
yourself into a battery and run AI.
Yeah.
become a robot.
Steve,
I
think
think
you're
that's
operating.
a nice idea,
Oh, go ahead.
but that's
It's not the solution,
It's
it's
a nice
just an
idea, yeah,
option.
but
Yeah.
it's very reminiscent of when things happen with automation and people go, "Well, just learn coding," and you're
Right.
putting the impetus of adapting on the individual who's probably already sank themselves into years of debt or
For sure.
years of time learning a
sure.
skill
Totally.
that now is going to be obsolete. And then people go, "Oh, well, just do this and you'll be fine." And it's like,
Well,
well,
yeah.
yeah, maybe some people will, but those are the people who can afford it, who have the time.
Totally,
and
totally.
that goes back to the funnel.
Here's
No,
where-
I agree. I'm just saying that, like, again, it's just an option to dive into it and learn it. And like with coding, Elliot, like, there was a percentage of people that did that and found success doing that.
But those people were already better off than the other people.
Maybe,
so again,
yeah, maybe.
It shifts more of the power toward the wealthy, less
Yeah.
toward the.
I just
the
think
biggest-
that once you
less
filter, I'm just saying that, like, once you filter that into the people that like learn, take that and turn it into a career, you've found that there is a percentage of people that utilized it and have found success in adapting with it. I'm not saying that that's like
I'm saying
blanket.
take your Zonai charges, put them in the little gumball machine, and get out some fans.
get
Yep.
fans and wings.
The,
Sorry, Joe. We're
well,
sorry
I
for
think-
art. We
I think-
sorry for fight. It means for fighting.
guys, conflict is key in podcasts and keeping the engagement level.
Absolutely. Right at the end.
Yeah, right.
I think the difference, Steve, I think you are
No one's
correct
listening to it.
in your assessment of adaptation, but I think the variable that you are dismissing is the variable of time. This change is happening fucking so fast.
Yeah.
So fast
I
that
agree.
people are going to have whiplash. Like society is going to have
Yeah.
whiplash because it's happening in like months and
Yeah.
days
Yeah.
and it's exponentially happening. The internet, it was there. It was still pretty gradual for how fast it was, and it was still too fast, right?
Yeah.
So these changes of the past have taken, a lot of time
Totally.
for us to adapt in real time.
Totally.
This one, I think people are going to blink and like potentially things will just be like, oh man, some companies are going to make some drastic choices that others will follow suit on, and it'll be nuts. It'll be nuts.
Yeah. I think as humans, we're at the mercy of
The sun.
something else, it's like we don't have full control over what happens. And what I'm saying is like, if this ends up being the like apocalypse event for jobs and humans and humanity in general, there will be a way for perseverance. I think
They'll never have live theater. They'll never have improv because AI would never stoop low enough to do it.
I mean, think about the old man yelling about how vaudeville died and in his lifetime, and how like his life was ruined because vaudeville was everything, and it's like, I think we have no choice. We're at the mercy of whatever happens, and it's like pointless to try to like I don't know. It's like we're on the ride, you know? We're on the ride.
Were people upset when vaudeville?
There were, yeah, some comedians. The small comedy world was upset, yeah. I think.
All
I can't
five
believe,
of them.
I can't believe Keith Urban, the husband of Nicole Kidman, did a TikTok at a Taylor Swift concert and accidentally outed Bo Burnham being in a relationship with
that's
a
insane.
singer.
Oh no, when did that happen?
He's like, they're having fun making it Taylor Swift, she's so good. And then the background is Bo Burnham making out with somebody. That's classic. That's what you're not
Phoebe
going to get with
Bridges?
AI.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, Bridgers, I think. I don't know
Bridgers?
who it is, and nor do I care, but it's just a...
I like Elliot's Hollywood moment.
Hey, welcome to Hollywood Moment. Right? How about Toby Keith doing a Facebook Live?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, what can we do about AI? Like, you know.
Nothing. It's just a fun podcast conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have noticed it's a fun conversation, and it's interesting to hear people's takes on it, and it's one of those things where no one knows, and so it's just knows. I'm this level of concerned, and maybe if I'm less concerned, it'll be fine. Maybe I should be more concerned. And
I think
it's interesting
like,
to see people's temperature on it.
I think it's definitely one of those like no one knows, and that's what makes it like so interesting to talk about it. Things for sure, like you're saying.
Great Queens of the Stone Age song, by the way.
But like we got to think about like even with like there are a lot of events in humanity in our history that are similar, you know. And you're right, Joe. This is happening really fast, faster than the internet for sure. But you know, there are events that have been similar to this. Even COVID was kind of similar to this, you know, in the sense that nobody knew what would happen.
Guys, 3 dudes were sitting around a fire long ago, having the same exact conversation that we are going. I don't know, this Genghis guy is going to change everything.
I think he's going to change everything.
It's happening so fast.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this?
There was a time. That looks satisfying.
Yeah.
There was a time when people were hanging around a fire and they were laughing because there was this guy who lived in a tower and started making these wild claims just before he died that the sun was actually not moving, that we were actually moving around the sun. And they were like, that's the most batshit crazy thing ever, because obviously you can see the sun. It literally...
Idiot.
Yeah, and then we still never updated our language, so we still say sunrise and sunset. So it still actually reinforces this separation between reality and the way that we speak.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we say that it's still wrong. Like we still haven't fully adapted.
That's so funny. I've
even
never
the Copernican
that.
Even the Copernican revolution we have not caught up with.
That's so funny. That's so stupid.
Isn't that crazy? Yep.
That
it's fun.
It's so stupid that I never even like thought that we shouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
What about like rewind and fast forward? Like that's another one that's kind of similar that we keep saying that's just kind of wrong now.
YouTube rewind, YouTube fast. Yeah.
Like what did kids say now when they're like bring it back? Like they say bring it back, go back.
Scroll back.
Scroll back. Yeah. Can you scroll back on that movie?
Can you scroll back? Full circle.
All right, well, guys.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about. I thought you were talking about SourceFed.
I was. Yeah.
Okay,
scroll back. Scroll back.
Oh, scroll it back. Scroll back.
Scroll back.
Can you scroll back? Can you scroll back? So many scroll backs.
Very fun. Fun, guys.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's show. It was fun to be with the boys again, and do a boys cast. Maybe we'll get Kevin in there and have all the boys in there again. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you for listening. Anything else?
No. All good.
All right, well, anybody want Eminem?
Thank you.
I'm good, actually.